Hey, it's Adrian, and today I'm taking a look at this XTU J7 Plus battery-powered doorbell camera. Now, this is not a brand that I'm familiar with. However, they did send this unit out for an unbiased review, so I'm just going to get into the review and I'll let you know how it compares to my current camera, which is a Blink Video Doorbell. So let's get started. So this is a 100% wire-free installation, similar to the Blink system, but you can see it's capable of 1080p. You have night vision mode, motion detection, of course, real-time alerts, cloud storage. There's a 5000 milliamp hour built-in rechargeable battery, full two-way audio, and a wireless chime, which the Blink system does not have. In the package, you get the manual, the doorbell camera with a mounting bracket, the wireless chime, batteries, and there's some mounting hardware, so screwdriver, screws, and a charging cable for the camera. Taking a closer look at the main camera, so there is a button at the back here and that triggers an alarm if it's removed from this bracket here. And taking a close-up look, so you can see there's the camera module, you have the button to press, and then you have a microphone for two-way audio. On the side is a little compartment here, and that's the charging port. So it is a micro USB charging port, it's not a type C. On the other side, you also have, looks like an on-off switch, a reset button, and a slot for an micro SD card, and then you have speakers on the side. Really quickly, guys, I just read this while I was going through the manual, but there's a screw hole at the bottom here, and that screw hole lines up with the screw hole on this mounting bracket. So once those are aligned and you feed in the screw here, it's gonna make it really hard for someone to just grab this out of this socket. Now, this socket is also going to be secured, so it's going to be very difficult. Someone would really have to put a lot of effort and probably damage the camera, or they would have to just remove the screw from the bottom. However, if they do that, there is an alarm feature at the back here, so you can see when this is in the bracket, it's going to be pressed down. However, once that pops out, it's going to trigger an alarm. So that's a pretty cool feature that is not on the Blink system that I currently have right now. Taking a look at this mounting bracket, so it's a thick enough piece of plastic, not a whole lot of flex, so it feels pretty solidly built. That's good. And looking at the doorbell chime, so there's a micro USB port right there, and this can be powered just continuously by using the supply cable. You also have an option at the bottom here to put in 3 AA batteries, which are supplied. And then looking at the side here, I can see there's like a gear icon here. I don't know how well that's showing up on camera, a volume icon and a music icon. So I'm sure there's some settings that you can customize to tailor it to whatever you like. In terms of the specs, so you have Wi-Fi coverage that can reach up to 100 feet. It is 166 degrees field of view. It's IP66 weatherproof. 1080p video, also it has night vision. You have motion detection, of course, the anti-theft damper alert in case someone tries to lift it. You can respond in real time with two-way audio, and you can connect the doorbell to Amazon Alexa, and the support for onboard storage is 128 gigabytes of micro SD storage. The camera weighs in at about 155 grams, so it definitely feels a bit heavier than the Blink doorbell, but that's going to be due to the 5000 milliamp rechargeable built-in battery. For setup, it seems pretty simple, so I'm going to download the Cloud Edge app from the Google Play Store. Okay, so I've created an account in the Cloud Edge app. I've turned on the camera. Now I'm just going to add the device. Now I'm going to scan the QR code. Okay, so everything was added. Next, put the camera and phone at the same place of the camera installation. So currently I'm in the basement, and that's why the signal strength is not really good, but later I'm going to take it upstairs and do it. Now that the camera is connected to the app, the next step is to connect the chime. So I'm going to go ahead and press the reset button. And while that's flashing, I'm going to go ahead and press the doorbell button. Okay, so I can hear the chime is now paired. When I press that, it clicked right here. Also an option to change the chime alert. So here's your options here. So for those of you who are interested, I have my finger on this alarm. I'm gonna let go and you can hear what happens if someone tries to grab it. So you can see it plays a loud enough sound, and if I go into the messages here, you know, it's kind of funny. It's saying the device was destroyed. So that's what happens if someone tries to lift it. Now that I have everything paired and connected, I just want to take a look at the settings in the app really quickly. So it looks like there's some quick notification settings here, but I'm going to go into the general settings. So there's a button here to just pause alert notifications if you want. And let's see, so there's device share, time setting, image setting. I'm going to go into that. Anti-flicker, that's set to 60. Night vision mode is automatic, that's fine. Sound settings, I'll leave that at the default 70. And there's an option for chime settings, so you can actually turn on or off the chime feature. Voice message, so here's where you can actually record 3 different voice messages and about 10 seconds at length, and you can kind of play that back whenever you're busy if you just want to send something kind of pre-recorded. I'm not going to use that, so I'll leave that off. So alarm management, so I'm going to turn on motion detection. I'll leave the detection sensitivity to 3. And I'm not going to mess with anything else. Tamper alarm, I'm going to put that on also. And that was for the button at the back there, if anyone just tries to lift that. Battery management, so I can see I'm set to 61%. I have not fully charged this yet, that's why. Recording management, so I haven't put in an SD card. I'm going to do that before I mount this. And I can see for playback, there's event recording. Likely I don't have any options because nothing's recorded yet. And then there is a cloud storage. So it says to try 7 days for free. I'm going to go ahead and activate that. And what that's going to do is it does upload cloud video. Another thing I noticed in the app, which I think is pretty well done, is if I click on this messages tab here, I can see like a historical event of what was going on. Also, if I go back into the settings here, alarm messages, I can see the timeline, so I can pick whatever day and I can see whatever is going on here with a thumbnail. So that's pretty cool. One thing that I noticed that this system doesn't have that the Blink system has, and I really appreciate it on the Blink system, is customization in terms of the motion re-trigger event. So if I go into the settings here, there's a decent amount of options here, but I don't see any options to change the re-trigger time. And if you're not sure what that is, basically, you know, if you're outside of your front door, say, and you're fiddling around with your keys or bringing in the groceries or something like that, you may want to set a re-trigger kind of delay or timeout so that any motion within 30 seconds, it's not going to create another alert on the phone. And I don't see that on here right now. So that's something I would like to see in an update. Before I go ahead and permanently mount everything, I just want to make sure live view and all of that's working. So if I click that, that loads up pretty quickly, and I'll just turn the camera on the side and it updates the view pretty quickly as well. Now you have options here. Right now it's on SD. I'll put it to HD quality. And then of course I can make that full screen, and that quality is pretty good. If I put my hand there, you can see there's a slight bit of delay that's kind of common with these cameras, but the quality is pretty good. Let me back out of that. Now there's also options for taking screenshots, intercom record, motion detection, the tamper alarm. And in history, you can see it has a list of things that have occurred. And if I go into cloud, same thing. Now the cloud is only for 7 days. Keep that in mind. After 7 days, you will have to pay, or you could just stick with the history by just popping in a micro SD card, which is what I've done. But I'm going to go on to the next step, which is to mount it. So I've removed my Blink Video Doorbell. I'm going to put the 7J Plus. Now I just put adhesive for now because it's just a really quick and dirty install. And I'm going to test the performance, and then depending on how that goes, then I'll permanently mount it. So I have the 7J Plus mounted on the door frame. Just really quick, just so I could test it till I put it somewhere permanent. So it's pretty rigid and stuck in there with that adhesive strip. So let me just test it out now. Here's a quick demo of what happens when someone rings the doorbell.
Hello, there?
It's Adrian, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. So here's a demo of what it looks like, pulling up live view and reviewing video or photos. So I'm gonna go ahead and click for the live view, and it takes a little bit. I'm in the basement, so it's a bit longer. If I was upstairs, it would be quicker. So you can hear the sound pickup is really good. I'm gonna turn that all the way down so we're not interrupted again. But just take a look at the image. It's on HD right now. It's really clear, really crisp. I could zoom in if I need to, and that works pretty great. Now, one thing that's pretty impressive with this is the field of view. So it's, I believe, 145 degrees, which is about 10 more than on the Blink Video Doorbell, so that's pretty great. However, on my front door, you can see I have the brick on the right and left side there, so that obviously obstructs, the field of view. Obviously, I could have it much wider. So if you don't have this type of setup, even better for you. One other thing to take note of with my setup is I have this roof area at the top, and because of that, if someone stands in this area and rings the doorbell, their face is not, evenly or brightly lit by the sun. So sometimes it's a bit harder for me, but obviously it's not going to be an issue for you if you just have, a clear doorbell with, or front door, sorry, with nothing else blocking it. But let me go ahead and show you what it looks like when you play back recorded video. So I'm going to go into messages, click on that alert there, and you can see these entries here without the green play button. These are just still photos, okay? So they're not playable. But if I click this one here, and this is gonna be me getting the mail today. Let's just let that load up again. It's a bit slow because I'm in the basement. So that's me. I rang the doorbell and I backed up just to show you what it looks like with my face in the sun. It's easy to make out my face when I'm properly illuminated, which is going to be the case for most people's front door. Here's a quick demo of what night mode looks like, so you can see everything's pretty clear. Even though I have some lights pointed directly towards the camera at the door, it still does a good job of minimizing, any type of flare and keeping the rest of the image really sharp and clear and in focus. It's much better quality than on the Blink system. So here's another example of video playback. This is just me getting an Amazon package delivered. So you can see in terms of playback, pretty smooth. It's great at 1080p quality, so really no complaints in terms of video playback and the speed of pulling up the live view, also the photos that it takes. Overall, I'm just really impressed. After using the 7J Plus, I think I'm just gonna replace my Blink Video Doorbell with this system. I just find it, much quicker to pull up things, the app alerts, all of that just works much better than with the Blink system. Now, one of the things that's different on here than the Blink system is the battery life on here is rated for, I believe, 2 to 3 months from what I saw online. I'm gonna have to test out long term to really see how that pans out. But even though the Blink system is rated for, say, up to 2 years of battery life, I still prefer recharging this every 2 to 3 months because of just how quickly everything runs. And I think one of the reasons everything runs very quickly on here is because there's maybe a more frequent polling rate. That's why things are much quicker and not as delayed. Even when I'm pulling up video files for playback with the micro SD card here, it's just much quicker from here, even though I have a sync module on the Blink camera, which is supposed to speed things up. This is just way faster. The other thing is the field of view on this is much wider than the Blink system. While from a hardware point of view, this is really great. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a couple things lacking, which is to have more fine-tuned controls like setting a re-trigger time or like a dead zone or a blockout zone. That's something the Blink app does have. Now, I also like that there's a tamper alarm here. I like that there's a security screw at the bottom here for when I put it in the bracket. This system comes in at around 80 US. I think it does go on sale for a little bit less, maybe like 70 US. And the Blink system, if you do get that, you do have to buy the sync module too. In my opinion, just having the standalone Blink Video Doorbell camera is not going to be powerful enough for what you want it to do, especially if you're not paying that monthly subscription plan. Talking about the subscription, so they do have subscription plans starting at $2.99 a month up to $15.99 a month. Now, not something I'm really a fan of. I didn't use it on my Blink system, likely won't use it on here too. There's a season VIP package here. I'm not sure what they mean by season. And there's also an annual plan, so $30 a year. And that gives you a 3-day overriding storage plan, which is actually not that bad for a year. The 7 days 50 and the 30-day is 160 a year. So summing up, I'm pretty impressed with this unit. For a company I've never heard of, the hardware is good. The video quality is excellent as well. It's a wider field of view than the Blink system. Build quality wise, even though it's an all plastic build, it has a decent amount of weight to it. The plastic doesn't feel cheap. There's no bending or flexing or anything like that. And you can see the ports are, they have this rubber, so for weather sealing. So all in all good. I'm happy with the bracket that it comes with to keep it secure by screwing it down there, and also this anti-tamper button here. One thing I should mention is it is a bit of a fingerprint magnet because that finish is so glossy. As soon as you press anything, it does definitely leave fingerprints, but that's a minor gripe. Overall, excellent system, really quick. You may find yourself charging the battery more often than with another type of system, but I think I'm willing to live with that trade-off just because of how quickly and fluidly everything pulls up, and that's kind of what you want when someone's at your doorbell anyway. Let me know if I missed anything in my review, or if you have any questions about this unit. You know, as time goes on, I'll leave an update in the pinned comments down below if I notice anything else, or if I notice there's any updates that add some of the functionality I was talking about. And as always, if you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.